My brother William said you might be stopping by. Please come on in. I want to thank you for joining me. I am John Connor. I'd like to share our story. Hard to believe it's been over 200 years since I arrived in this rich land. In that passage of time, a few tales of our history has become confused. Oh, it's not folks' intention to spin tales, or, well, maybe it is. Regardless, some of what you heard is true, some not. I'd like to take a moment and offer how I experienced life as a frontiersman. I was born in August of 1775 in the eastern part of Ohio. Out of providence or happenstance, my life was destined to be intertwined with the development of Indiana. My family were adventurers and visionaries. For a bit, we were living amongst the Shawnee people. Our mother had been held captive by this tribe. She had been taken around the age of 4, along with her brother and sister. Her family had settled in around Fort Lehigh, in Pennsylvania. Her father was killed upon their abduction. Years later, our father, Richard, who had been a trader and tavern operator, came upon our mother, Peggy. It was our father who liberated our mother by means of paying a $200 ransom. This is a sum worth about $7,000 today. In addition, our father had to agree to give the tribe his firstborn son. That son was our brother James. Now, about the time when William was born, our father joined us to the Moravian mission. So I suppose this odd blend of native peoples with the Moravians formed my nature. In 1802, we, the Connor brothers, were called to Washington City. Due to our abilities in understanding both language and culture of the native people, we were often called into service, acting as a bridge between tribes and Congress for the purchase of new lands. Around 1804, I established a fur trading post, as did my brother William, several days' journey from my own. Both posts soon evolved into towns. We, the Connors, were a family that lived on the frontier, always pushing westward into the unknown, always looking for new and better opportunities. If you might recall, William and I were taken by Indians when we were quite young. He, being younger than myself, depended on my limited understanding of the world around us. It was in this frightening time of not knowing from one minute to another if we would long endure. Each breath felt like a gift. Being taken against our will did one thing in our short lives: it honed our survival skills. We never knew if we would be given food or forced to run the gauntlet. A fate that froze our minds with terror, always faced with the prospect of having to run between two lines of men, striking us as we passed with all sorts of implements impacting our still frail bodies. So many never made it to the end. Yet, in this uncertain place, we learned how to interact with native peoples. And as I reflect, my view, these encounters shaped my understanding of the land and its people, giving me the insight on how I would handle future endeavors. In 1809, much like in 1805, I negotiated a treaty with the Delaware and Potawatomi, adding more land to this region. By 1818, my brother William and I secured the Treaty of St. Mary's, effectively creating the new state of Indiana. It was my great pleasure being elected to a committee to lay out the state capital, Indianapolis. Knowing a new influx of hardy adventurers would soon be upon us, I took advantage of the opportunities in this awakening land. With the wealth accumulated in the fur trade, I was able to purchase quite a bit of land close to William's post. These transactions went smoothly. Well, for the most part. A man and his family had settled on a plot of my land. Finch was his name. He seemed stunned when given papers to remove himself. He made an argument Horseshoe Prairie was his. When presented with lawful papers, he then demanded I pay him a sum of money for clearing the land, payment for his labor, so he insisted. This caused quite the stir, and since I had not hired anyone to clear my land, I refused, and rightly so. Once I settled into Horseshoe Prairie, I set out to erect 3 fine mills, a saw and grist mill, along with a carding mill. Much needed at the time, this fine piece of machinery combed out wool or other fiber. With its series of wire-covered rollers, it also cleaned out impurities, such as dirt and other vegetable matter. But I was a restless soul. I became deeply involved in the state legislature while running a new store in Indianapolis. The time was brief in this new industry. By April 1826, I became quite ill. So ill, I thought it best to make my will and provide for my 2 sons' education and some other provisions. By the 16th, my body gave out. My impact on Indiana didn't end with my death in 1826, or so some would later say. I am honored folks feel I left a legacy, that my life somehow is now etched into the very heart of modern Indiana. Some say our story is a testament to resilience and vision, is commemorated in schools, libraries, and museums, an honor many bear our name. Our work in founding Noblesville, Connersville, and Indianapolis stands as a monument to being a part of the great pioneering spirit that is the backbone of our great nation. Keep it well, all you fellow pioneers. It is in your hands now to preserve our heritage while moving into the future. Honor us by keeping it well for those who follow you. If you liked our story, please like and subscribe, plus hit notification bell so you don't miss another upload on our heritage series. Thank you for watching.